Hi everybody, I'm Dan, and I would like to invite my fellow judges to come on stage to join me here. It's great to have you all with us.
Thank you.
Super. So I'll just introduce everybody to you. So with me, firstly, I've got Molly Webb, who's the founder of Energy Unlocked, and I've been learning a lot more about Energy Unlocked over the last little while, which has been great. We've got Andrea, of course, Shell colleague, part of the Shell Ventures team. Eddy Lee here, who's the managing director at Startupbootcamp. And of course, Akis, Bratsos, who's a principal investor at Lakestar. So great to have you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I think, firstly, to say this has been a real journey. We had 25 startups who are all focused in trying to decarbonize cities. Just to paint the picture for those that aren't aware, decarbonizing cities is arguably one of the most pressing issues that we have in addressing climate change. There's an estimate that around 2 billion people are going to be added to the global population, so taking the total population to about 9.7 billion by 2050. And of course, with all of those additional folks, it's likely, if we do nothing, that there will be a significant growth in CO2 emissions. And about 70% of global CO2 emissions are estimated to come from cities when you take all of the mobility, energy, cement, steel, etc. into account. And that's according to the Coalition for Urban Transition. And so actually addressing decarbonization of cities is a really crucial topic and something that I know all of my fellow panelists and fellow judges feel very passionately about. And so what we want to hear from is really innovative startups that are making a huge impact in addressing this global challenge. So we're going to have today 3 finalists from the 25 that started the journey. I'd like to say a huge congratulations to them. It's been a ruthless judging process to get it down to just 3 for today. And so they've done amazingly well just to be part of this event. And I'm sure you'll all give them a really warm welcome as they come up. Just to walk through the format and how this is going to work, we're going to have 3 pitches from each of the individual startups. They're going to have 4 minutes to talk about their company and introduce themselves to us and to the audience. The judges then are going to have 5 minutes of questions, and then we'll cycle on to the next startup. So there's going to be 3 sets like that. Just to say, final point to the startups in the room, I want to just apologize in advance if I'm rude. I know there's so much we could talk about of all of these solutions, but I may need to keep it to time in order to make sure we get through it. So again, thank you all for joining us, and thanks and congratulations to the startups for getting to this stage. With that, it's time to move to our first startup. So if I can invite ZipCharge to come to the stage and to present for us.
So thank you, everybody. My name is Jonathan Carrier, and I'm the co-founder of ZipCharge. And this is the ZipCharge Go. This is the world's first portable power bank for electric vehicles and will allow anybody to charge their vehicle anywhere they park. However, this is more than just an EV charger. This is a home energy storage device and a smart home device, EV charger, all rolled into one. And let me explain exactly how we're going to decarbonize cities and drive a step change in providing energy democracy for everyone. Everything has to go electric. Cars, heat pumps, and legislation will drive increased energy use. But at the same time, there's a challenge. The grid has to decarbonize and move towards renewable energy. The wind only blows when it blows, and the sun only shines when it shines. And that means we need more assets and intelligent ways to store energy so that we have resiliency, not just in urban areas, but also in rural areas. So energy storage, like a Tesla gigafarm, great to have such megawatts, but they're actually in rural locations for safety reasons, and they do a great job of providing balancing to the grid, particularly where there are renewables. However, the problem, we need more flexibility for communities and residents. Now, if you're a Tesla driver, this is a typical scenario. You have a driveway, you have a garage, which means you can have a charge point, a Tesla Powerwall, but also a roof for solar. And that means you can take advantage of the energy transition. However, when it comes to that issue, most people live very differently. whether it's in Madrid, Mumbai or Manila, most people don't have access to that type of technology that can enable them to access low-cost clean energy. And that's because 50% of society is at risk of being left behind in the energy transition, because most people don't live in a detached property, they don't have a driveway, they don't have a garage. So we need to find smarter ways to enable them to take advantage of the energy transition and access clean, low-cost energy anywhere. Now, there's over 150 million EU citizens, 30% of the population, that are in energy poverty. And that's critical because we need to find a better way to alleviate that and avoid the inequality gap increasing over time as we decarbonise the grid. So that's why we developed the ZipCharge Go. It's a bi-directional portable power bank, the first in the world that provides flexible power anywhere for everything. So let me explain what that means. It means we can deliver EV charging. It means we can deliver home energy storage, connect it to solar, charge up for free. But also it can power your home, which I'll come on to. But it gives you flexibility for power on the go. So you have access to clean energy anywhere for holidays, camping, even for construction, anything where you need it. So we are a portable, connected, affordable, smart device. It's an IoT device that's got a back end with AI that learns about when you charge and when you use energy. And what that means is we make charging for your car as simple as ABC, always be charging. And in that regard, it's like a power bank for your mobile phone. But more than that, it's a smart home device. It's a personal energy management platform. All it needs is a transfer switch at your consumer unit, and it will be able to power your home. It will provide load balancing, it will provide peak shaving, and it will also provide resiliency in the event of a blackout. So it's all of that combined into a much cheaper device that anybody, no matter where they live, can ultimately use. So we can provide power to home, we can provide power to load, but also we can provide power to grid. So where there is a grid balancing mechanism and there is the ability to send energy back, then this will arbitrage on energy pricing and actually be able to save you a significant amount of money that will pay for your energy for free. So we're building an intelligent energy management platform that provides energy at the lowest possible cost, using AI in the back end to do that constant optimization so that we can deliver energy democracy for everyone. Thank you.
Right on time, well done. Very good. So I'd like to turn to my judges now, our judging panel, and ask for any questions.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to? So I have like 1,000 questions I could ask, but I know we only have 5 minutes, so I'll just start with how much energy can you actually store there? And if you could just put that in terms, if I were powering my house, how long would that last?
Sure. So this unit is a 4 kilowatt hour unit. We'll also do a 6 and an 8. But this is super lightweight. So me and my co-founder have worked in the car industry all our lives. We used to work for McLaren. So we treat this like a sports car. It's got to look beautiful. It's got to have high performance, but also it's got to deliver that in a very small, compact lightweight package. And ultimately, that's what this delivers. Now, for your home, most kind of power walls for your home will be anywhere between 6 to 11 kilowatts, but typically that's for a bigger home, and that will be for a detached home. So if you think about apartments, terraced houses, and so forth, 4 kilowatt hours up to 8 kilowatt hours will be more than enough to power emergency devices, refrigerators, and so forth for at least several hours. And in fact, we've been approached by many of the DNOs in the UK as a result of Storm Arwen that they want to be able to take these and issue them out to people as an emergency device, as much as something that can charge your vehicle.
Okay. That was my next question. I think this is amazing. I'm curious about the route to market. Utilities are slow. It seems like you have many different potential markets for this, fleets and emerging economies. So what's your first?
Yeah, first is to fleets, because they're longer time to market, bigger prices, but they've also got to decarbonize sooner. Many of them have set ESG targets of 2023, 2025, and those that are actually lagging behind out to 2030. So they need to switch to electric, but they also need to lower their total cost of ownership and demonstrate to their stakeholders and shareholders that they're taking the appropriate steps. So focus parallel on fleets, longer lead time, but we already have now over 10,000 customers around the world that want to buy one of these, and we've spent zero on marketing. And it shows you the level of opportunity that there is behind this to drive transformation, and critically to do that in cities where we need the decarbonisation and the resiliency, plus the flexibility the most.
Thank you.
Maybe I can ask a follow-up question. If your target market is fleet, then what is the use cases over here? Because from what we understand, most of the fleet have very well-scheduled charging. It could be depot charging. It could be midday charging. And in your case, being a portable charger, what are the use cases for a fleet?
Yeah, so let me clarify first. It's not solely fleet, it's just fleet first, okay? Because of the lead time and the development. Now, there's a lot of different fleets. Actually, post-COVID, many of the fleets are moving away from depots. Many of the large fleets also are return-to-home fleets, where the engineers or the drivers don't have access to charging at home. So this is a solution. But the best way to charge an electric vehicle is when you don't have to. By that, what I mean is by doing something else. So take Centrica here in the UK. Their vans do 40 miles a day. They have 5 to 6 stops because they're fixing your boiler or your radiator. This inside your van allows them to charge anywhere they park, and that has 2 impacts. It actually increases the range of the vehicle because they don't waste range going to a charge point. 2, it's cheaper for them versus the cost of ownership, but they increase the utilization of the asset. And that's all about total cost of ownership, and that asset is the van and the person driving the van, so they can deliver a better customer experience. We're also linking it to solar on the roof, so we've got one pilot with one major fleet where then this will trickle charge from solar for free, so you can constantly keep topping it up and recharging it on the go for fleets, and it provides a flexible tool. But let me just point one other thing out. So the Environment Agency in the UK, for example, they go to remote locations, they have to fix pumps. So not only do they need to go electric, but they need access to remote power for the tools to fix the pumps. This has a regular outlet that will power anything, anywhere. So this gives you access to clean energy for anything, and it's actually a very versatile and flexible business tool.
Do you have a question? Can I ask one more?
Go for it.
I have like 3 more, but I'll be quick. Just, the first thing that comes to mind when I saw the picture of that charging a car is, how do you prevent somebody from coming in and stealing it?
Yeah. So it's the first question from all the customers and something we've paid a great attention to. So it has both a mechanical tether and a digital tether. So the mechanical tether is the ability to plug it in and it's locked to the vehicle and also to this. But it's a smart device that's all app controlled and it has no buttons. And you have to have the token on your phone in the app that's married to this unit, so only you can use it. You can also geofence its operation, so even outside the geofence, even if you have the token, it won't work. It has an alarm, it has a motion sensor, and it has an automotive-grade tracker, so you can see real-time exactly where it is at any point. And believe me, this is no value to anybody because it's several hundred volts.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. A fantastic start. Very cool. Awesome. So moving swiftly on, I'd like to now invite Leapcraft to the stage.
Hi there. My name is Vinay. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Leapcraft. We're based in Denmark. We are on the pathway on the fastest solution out there to decarbonize existing building stock. And why is that important? Because 95% of all buildings in the EU, at least, are existing old systems that needs to be renovated. So there's a massive renovation opportunity here. And just to get the facts right, typically the indoor climate and air quality inside buildings, like today, is not optimal. And the biggest energy consumer in large commercial buildings is the ventilation plant. There is a big air handler running in this building, somewhere in the basement, that's consuming significant amount of energy right now. And we still don't have an optimal indoor climate. This is the crux of the issue that we are trying to solve. So what we do is that we design and manufacture 2 components. One is a sensor unit that has a fair bit of intelligence that understands how the room's behaving, how the occupants are using the room. It measures carbon dioxide, it measures noise, it measures occupancy patterns, it measures a whole bunch of stuff, about 14 different parameters. It intelligently deciphers the use of the space, and it preemptively allows for precise exchange of air through the space through a control damper system that we have a patent on. So this is a retrofit solution, that's important to say. So this can work on almost any building out there. And the sensor is fairly simple to install. It's a pity that we haven't installed it right here because I think we would all be in a better shape. So the adaptive algorithms that we deliver proactively control the air exchange rate in a space and heating and cooling loads. So if it was done in this particular space, it would have known that there is going to be this amount of people, most probably, because it's going to start seeing the crowd build up. And it'll know the geothermal impact from what's happening outside and the internal physics of the building, and it's going to change that. One thing to clarify is that AI cannot change building physics. And that's what we do here, because we have both parts of the solution here. We have a software platform that sort of manages the whole system as a BIM solution so that you can integrate that directly into large-scale portfolio management approaches. We integrate energy mix data. We combine portfolio management and asset quality data into this. So we basically give the asset managers a full field view to actually run the whole system at scale. And that's important because just doing one building at a time is not going to solve this. And why is this the fastest path? Because in very simplistic terms, we only change about 2 to 3% of the material or the embodied carbon in a building to get a much bigger operational carbon change. So typically we save about 40 to 50% of the energy footprint of a building, and with so little change in components in the building. And that's what's unique about the whole solution. And so talking about numbers, we typically have seen, at least on all the buildings we've done in Denmark, we save about 40% energy. That translates to about 22 kilowatts square meter per year. And the carbon impact is about 2 kilos roughly per square meter per year. And how that translates in Denmark alone with our own market share and penetration is about 19 billion kilos. And this is tiny Denmark, yeah, remember that. If you take the UK, it's a 10 times bigger market than that. So the business model is pretty simple. We offer this as sensing as a service. So basically we deliver it as a subscription model and we take a payback on the energy saved. And so we're basically indirectly financing the model, and that is where it gets really interesting. Our current energy prices are so crazy that right now the payback period is somewhere between 2 to 3 years for new deployments. We've done all kinds of buildings, big, small, medium size. We recently are getting going in London too, so there's an exciting transition starting now. So to summarize, we are a bit like the LED light bulb for the ventilation system, in the sense that our system is a retrofit, it's simple payback, and works on available infrastructure. Thank you.
Very good. Again, fantastic timekeeping. Well done. Open to the judges.
I'm happy to jump in. Thank you. This building efficiency, building retrofit is a huge challenge. I was wondering about integration with other building management system assets, other things. Are you just focused on the HVAC system? Are you linking into that broader?
There are 2 stages to that.
Okay.
The system can work independent of the HVAC building management system. So it's room level retrofit. So you don't need to struggle with integrations. And that's the key to scalability here, because going back to the metaphor of the light bulb, you need a simple system that's easy to install. But saying that, we have a full-blown BMS integration available for those who want to integrate other kinds of sensors, other existing technologies in the building. We have connectors and libraries built up for a whole range of suppliers, including Schneider and Honeywell, and a full spectrum of those. So we meet both needs, but our entry point into the market is through a simple retrofit. Yeah.
Brilliant, thanks.
Can you talk about your strategy to scale this outside of Denmark?
Yes, we're currently going after Netherlands, Germany, and the UK. And that's one of the reasons why it's so exciting to be here. Our existing customers are large asset owners, typically large commercial real estate. That's what we're going for. And also public buildings. Both are equally interesting. Right now, we are at a stage where we are setting up pilots in new countries. Our home base, of course, is Scandinavia. We are also trying out slightly far-off markets, especially the cooling sector. In Asia is very interesting because the carbon impact is even bigger over there. But it's a little bit too far for us right now. So we're predominantly focused on the Nordics, Germany, and the UK at this moment.
So maybe a follow-up on the scalability side. How long is the sales cycle? Since you have that hardware component, you actually have to go into the buildings and retrofit this. How long does it usually take from when you start conversations until you actually see the savings and the money come in?
Yeah, absolutely. When it's a totally brand new customer, a green customer, it takes about a year, roughly.
Okay.
But once we're in, the portfolio moves really fast. And that's the beauty of the whole solution, because the energy savings payback is like a no-brainer here. And we are able to quantify the impact very directly for them within a quarter. So, and the first thing I forgot to mention is that we install an energy logger on the air handling unit. So we have the baseline, and then we show them the difference within 1 quarter. And before we can finish that 1 quarter, typically they already start talking about the next building. So I think the cycle is, the flywheel effect is beginning to kick in. I can feel that.
And you don't charge for the hardware or the installation or the maintenance?
It's a bit of a hybrid situation, to be fair. I think customers are not mature enough yet to go into a full subscription model, because many of the budgets come from a CapEx budget. So we're struggling with that, to be fair. But our ambition is to go into a complete OpEx budget model.
Makes sense. Teddy?
Just a follow-up on that. I've seen a number of energy efficiency startups going via a shared savings method, where the client is baseline first, together with the help of the FM, and maybe involving the BMS provider. And once the baseline is established and agreed, then any savings is split half-half between the asset owner and the provider, like yourself. What do you think of that business model for you?
We've investigated that business model at depth. The advantages of that process is the economy of the whole structure is a little bit more clear and transparent. But the disadvantage is that to bring all the stakeholders together and get an agreement, building by building, each building is different. The BMS is ancient sometimes, 20 years old. And to get that, each one becomes a massive renovation project. We want to avoid that. We want this to be truly a light bulb strategy. Like, go change the light bulb out, keep the sockets, don't change any wiring, get moving, start seeing the payback, and then you can talk about all of this stuff. So because the payback period is so short, most of our customers just rather prefer that we just get moving, because we can start helping them decarbonize their portfolio even before they make a strategy of a shared economy around this thing. Yeah. It is pretty different than what others are trying to do in that respect. Yes, we are also taking a bigger risk, no doubt.
Just
Final
quick
question.
final one. Oh, go ahead.
Final question. Go for it.
You mentioned health and other benefits, performance. So how big are those benefits compared to the cost savings, or what are you learning about what people really value in that first quarter?
I think the pandemic has clarified that question like amply at this moment for us. There was a time when we had to convince our customer on the payback from the social and the governance perspective of the building. But today, no one asks us the question. The demand is so strong, it's mind-blowing. Like, we have never experienced a situation where customers actually call back to us and say, when are we doing this? You know, it's like I've never experienced this, honestly. Thanks to this.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Super. Amazing. What amazing startups. Just so cool to see them. So finally, I think last startup of our three, I'd like to invite Faraday to the stage.
Hello, everyone. We are Faradai, and we are experts in capturing and analysing your carbon emissions data. And we help organisations to gain clarity from the valuable information that exists within their organisation and use this to accelerate the speed at which they can reach net zero. We know many organisations have made bold climate statements, but there are many hurdles to overcome to achieve this. You have site managers wasting time manually collecting data within their buildings. Sustainability teams risking inaccuracy as they collate information via email and make important calculations using spreadsheets. And there are energy managers overwhelmed by the volume of data and struggling to identify trends. And you have C-levels worried about their bottom line. But Faraday can help. We help to improve the efficiency of data capture, support our clients to visualize that information securely on our cloud platform, and then conduct detailed analysis so that you can truly understand that data and couple it with actionable insights so you know where to focus your efforts. We help you to lower your carbon emissions, to reduce energy usage and bills, and significantly increase operational efficiency. The Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella, announced us as one of the most impactful AI and IoT startups in smart energy and sustainability. Today, we operate in 15 different countries, and we work with a broad range of sectors, from manufacturing to hospitality and retail. Today, I'm going to talk to you about just one of our products, so Faraday Energy, where we focus on savings and optimizing procurement. We collect data from any device, any system, anywhere. And take the example of Shell. We work with their fuel retail stores. We integrate with their air conditioning, with their smart meters, with their chillers and their fuel pumps. But we also integrate with their ERP systems, collecting information on store opening times and revenues from fuel sales. We then provide a highly customized experience. So gamify the content for the store managers coming on, but also provide highly technical and detailed information for energy and technical managers. We don't just normalize the data with information from within that organization, but we pull in external factors like weather data, for example. And by using our AI algorithms, we can truly understand the baseline, understand exactly how much energy is being used where and when. And with that information, we help our clients like Shell to identify excessive consumption within their business, which equals energy savings, to help them more accurately predict their spend and usage, and help them to decide which tariffs are best so they can save energy. So working with Shell in the first 12 months, we delivered 10% total financial savings. So our co-founders were working at Siemens, IBM, and Bosch when they were struck by how hard it was to extract this useful information from machines. They knew it could be used for positive change. And in 2017, we got $500,000 of seed funding. Last year, we turned over $1 million. We're looking to triple that in the next 12 months as we close our pre-Series A. So come and join us and the growing number of global brands significantly increasing their operational efficiency, saving energy, and reducing their energy bills. Thank you.
Wow.
Kudos to all of you for timekeeping.
You can tell
Made my job very, very easy.
They've been practicing.
Over to the judges.
Shall I go first? Question on the data types that you can take, right? So you said it can come from anywhere, right? So what types of data can you actually ingest? Can you take sensor data? Can you take satellite data? How much data can you actually ingest and analyze? And then follow up to that is what makes your AI better than any of your other AI companies that are out there? So what would be your secret sauce?
Yeah, okay, thank you. So in terms of the data that we collect, a lot of it is granular energy data that we're collecting. So, 15-minute, half an hour interval energy data that we can collect from a wide range of sources that I've kind of just described through there. But also look to extract other information that can be used to normalize that information. And that can be, a wide range of different sources. It can be, physical infrastructure, details around size of buildings. It can be around occupancy of spaces. Really, in terms of the maximum amount that we can take, there is no kind of real maximum. There's a certain amount that is sensible to us understand a kind of a true baseline. And in terms of what makes us different is we collect data from 12,000 different facilities. So we've kind of really refined our algorithms, and they are particularly strong in areas where you have multi-site facilities. So retail banking, fuel retail is where we're really strong. And there we use the kind of power of peer benchmarking to identify the anomalies and the associated excessive consumption.
When it comes to the data collection process, a lot of the devices and other information that you're actually integrating with don't offer open APIs, right? So is there a human in the loop in that process? Or am I able to go in and manually change the information that gets uploaded? For example, if I find a mistake?
So yeah, I mean, so API data is one part of what we take, but we've kind of built a library, we call it, of predefined plug-in adapters. So we've kind of mapped a whole range of different equipment so that the setup aspect is relatively kind of straightforward and quick in most cases. In terms of changing the data, when we ingest data, there's certain elements of verification that get done, instantaneously as information is absorbed. So you can run reports or get notified of any kind of anomalies in real time.
I got a question on user journey. Could you walk us through what is a user journey for your clients after they have signed you, from signing a contract to getting data insights?
Yeah. So we are a software company, so we work with partners in all of our respective countries where we have operations. So upon signing a customer, we kind of sort out all the kind of scope of exactly kind of what they're trying to establish. We would then liaise with that partner in the relevant country. In some cases, we can simply install our software and take data that's already created. In other cases, we install additional smart meters to capture additional granular data, sometimes additional occupancy sensors, depending on kind of exactly what they're trying to establish. In some cases, we will run a POC, proof of concept, where you have large portfolios. As I say, that's kind of where we can add the most value, so banking, retail, kind of 800, 900 stores. We might run a small POC over maybe, say, 10 stores to get an aspect, give them a flavour of what can happen. But the real value comes as you kind of ramp up those numbers.
Just a quick follow-on from that. I think this is really, it seems like the killer app for these kinds of analytics is to really align with the business context. So I think you've demonstrated that you can really do that. But that customization can be really hard. So how do you strike that balance?
Yeah, so we are a product company. So we have a number of products. I'm talking to you about kind of one, our energy product. It's highly customizable by the user. So you can drag and drop different widgets and modules around to create yourself the experience that you require. So there's a lot of it that can be done by the user. Of course, there are certain elements that we tweak, but looking to more and more make it a self-serve.
Super. Thank you so much. Well, firstly, a huge thank you to all of you. You did an amazing job. Really, really cool. So impressed. I'm going to ask at this point my judging panel to head out and begin your deliberations. So I know you've got a really tough job ahead of you, but we'll leave you to figure out who's going to be the winner. Looking forward to welcoming you back to stage very shortly. Just to say, whilst they're deliberating, I wanted to start by saying just a huge thank you to our colleagues here at CogX. I think it's been an amazing collaboration. We started this conversation about 12 months ago talking about what we could do here. And it's great for me personally to see this coming together because I think it's such an important problem. As I talked about, 70% of global CO2 being caused by cities. And so to do something in this space is fantastic. And I just want to say, I personally have been amazed reading through the 25 entries, but particularly with the three of you today, just leading phenomenal companies that are really making a huge impact already with so much more potential. So it gets me really excited and really optimistic and positive about what we can do together because, as I said earlier, I believe digital technology, of which all of these guys represent, can have a huge impact on global CO2. Recent World Economic Forum and Accenture report estimates that it could be as much as 20% in terms of the sort of impact that we can have on global CO2 emissions using digital technology. And so it's really cool to see you guys pulling that lever really hard, leveraging AI at scale, really showing what that can do with very tangible examples. So really exciting stuff. And again, congratulations to you all, regardless of the result. But of course, talking about the result, it's probably worth me talking about what they're going to win. So I thought I would do that briefly while we wait for the results. So the award is firstly £4,000 to the winning company. But perhaps more importantly, a golden ticket to the Shell Startup Engine program, access to Shell Startup Engine, Microsoft, AVL, and Startup Bootcamp networks, engagements in live pitching competitions, investor meetups, and other interactions with all of these organizations, which I think is fantastic and probably really important for you guys at this stage in your journey. And importantly, also, a direct entry into the final selection of the Startup Bootcamp Decarbonization program. So a phenomenal set of prizes to win for the winning entrant, and wishing you all the very best of luck, and hopefully it won't be too long until we hear back from them. But I think, maybe just to sort of close out, I hope that for many of you, and I know many of you represent organizations and startups all over the world, and also academic institutions. I hope that what we also do is try and inspire you to get involved in this space. One of the reasons that we come here every year is that we really want to try and engage openly in a dialogue around how we can accelerate decarbonisation of society. And I think it's really hard. For anyone working in this space, I'm sure all of you guys know that it's really hard and it's slower progress than we would like. But it's going to take all of us working together in order to make the sort of impact that we need. And so I'm really excited to see this sort of innovative environment coming together to hopefully accelerate the progress that we want to see. Very cool. We're good. Amazing. So I'm like at this point to welcome my fellow judges back to stage. So please welcome them back. So I know that was not an easy challenge, and particularly not easy to do rapid fire judging.
Spraying in the back.
Split
Split decision?
It was a split decision.
Judges, have you reached your decision?
Have we? Yeah, barely. Yes.
Very good. All right. Cool. Should we stand up, Eddie? And so, Eddie, anyone say a few words? Give us an insight into the deliberations, and also hopefully you can tell us who the winner's going to be.
Yeah. As you guys have seen, I hope you guys were entertained by Daniel while the judges were deliberating behind. And we were truly deliberating because it was hard. It was hard to pick a winner. I think all three startups did very well. They are solving urgent needs in the market. And we definitely need to decarbonize. Energy efficiency and other solutions proposed by each startup are all highly relevant. But the truth is that we have to pick one winner. And the winner that we pick is purely based on the content, the answering of questions, and the delivery. It's by no means a reflection of the potential of the startup or the investability. Right? I encourage all the participants to continue speaking with your customers, any stakeholders, and keep iterating your product. And come and speak with us backstage. Yeah. Right? We'll be happy to continue the conversation with anyone. Yeah. But the truth is we have to pick one winner. And the winner is ZipCharge.
Congratulations to ZipCharge. What a fantastic result. Well done. Very well done.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to say a few words?
Actually, this is a milestone for us in our journey, because I think this is the first award we've won from a pitch competition.
Oh, amazing. There we go. Well done.
To all of you.
Very, very good.
Of course, when you come up here, you have to say well done as well to my colleagues, because we're all in this journey together. The one thing I've learnt throughout my career in the automotive industry, but also working with multiple startups, is it's all about collaboration. It doesn't matter whether you're large or small, that the future that we have, the ability to change tomorrow, is within all of us, and how we can work together to realise that better future for everybody. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well said.
Could I also say a few words about your product? I think it's great that you have started with a small capacity battery, but the real opportunity is when you step up to the larger sizes that you talked about. There could be home battery users, for example, plugged into the California industry right now, where there's planned outages, or it can be plugged into a virtual power plant and get a revenue for the users. So there's huge opportunity if you can scale up to 6, 7, or 8 kilowatts.
There wasn't a chance to cover everything in the pitch, but virtual power plants are absolutely part of our plan. The ability to pool dynamic pools of assets and distributed energy resources into the cloud that can provide demand-side response services to the grid. And that's everything from frequency containment reserves all the way through to participation in the capacity market. And once you unlock that, actually then you create a whole new paradigm of how we treat energy. Peer-to-peer energy trading is possible. So you can now allow people to monetize the energy they store and they generate and share it with other people. And that can work both on-grid and off-grid. So the future of energy is going to transform around us, and we need the technology and the intelligence behind it in order to understand in real time pricing, availability, generation, usage, and ultimately when is the best way to store energy, manage that energy and distribute it in the smartest way possible that helps the energy transition, but also lowers the cost of energy for everyone.
I love it. What a great note to finish on. Thank you so much. Huge congratulations to ZipCharge. Very, very well done. Congratulations to all of the startups and also all of those who entered, because it was a fantastic field. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us. Do stick around, chat to the startups afterwards, and hopefully see you all around the festival tomorrow as well.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.